जब से मैं दुबई आया हूँ तो एक सवाल लोग मुझे हमेशा पूछते हैं, भाई कोई जॉब है तो बता दो। इसीलिए आई हैव गॉट द बिगेस्ट रिक्रूटर ऑफ द मिडल ईस्ट एंड द यूएई एंड दैट इज ग्रुप एल, और उनके सीईओ कबीर लूथरा हमारे साथ है, जिनका लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल बाय द वे द टैगलाइन इज ऑलवेज हायरिंग।
Absolutely.
Kabir, thank you so much for talking to us. Welcome to Ronversations. That's the name of the show because I'm Ronak, so Ronversations. So my first question is, आपकी जर्नी कैसे शुरू हुई?
So our journey तो बहुत almost 48 years पहले शुरू हुई थी.
Okay.
Started off as a security company in Calcutta, India. Started by my grandfather. So उस time he was playing golf with some retired army people and he decided to set up a security company. My father happened to be in college at that time and all the friends said कि तुम तो कुछ कर नहीं रही हो कॉलेज में, तुम आके कंपनी को मैनेज कर लो. So that is how my father got involved with it. And from
that
there,
time also it was called Group L.
it was called GI Security in India that time.
Okay.
And from GI, from just security man guarding, it's moved across to manpower outsourcing, facility management, employing thousands of people in India. अभी उसके बाद क्या हुआ कि I moved to Dubai in 2008, seeing a similar opportunity here. और took a little bit of time to set up and establish the business here, and by 2013 we were completely set up and we've been doing recruitment here actively doing recruitment from 2013, and उस time से अभी तक we've had quite a sharp journey, and we've grown from doing very few numbers annually to doing almost 20,000 people a year to.
Wow.
And when I say doing, I mean these are people who've got jobs. अभी उसमें अगर आप देखोगे तो these are 20,000 people who've come, उनको नौकरी मिली है, they've started working. उनके पीछे देखोगे तो there is even more people who are selected, shortlisted, interviewed. Right. So this is like a funnel system. तो we estimate कि हर एक साल में we are looking at about 100,000 people, 1,00,000 लोगों से हम लोग मिलते हैं. We meet them, interview them, screen them, और उसमें से we are able to have 20,000 people actually join. And we are very grateful to Dubai, to UAE for being able to give us this opportunity. Absolutely. And anywhere else I don't think we would have been able to achieve these kind of numbers.
And in such a short time. And also UAE you use as a springboard because I believe you have 32 other countries that you have offices in, right?
Yeah. So all the other countries where we actually recruit from, where we've got some sort of presence, we've got our own offices or we've got partner offices there. We're looking at what else can we do in places like Romania, which has a huge labor shortfall. The UK NHS nurses, huge shortfall वहाँ पे है. Saudi के जो plan सुनोगे तो they say millions of people required there to come in and work. तो we're looking at Saudi also. ये सब देख के opportunities तो बहुत है.
Of course.
Hopefully there is because of the labor shortfall in what I will call the Western world, including the Middle East. And you have a labor excess in places like India, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh. So there is going to be some kind of a melting pot across all of this. And that is where we are sitting to be able to help both sides.
Absolutely. And I mean, everybody watching this, it's like music to their ears because we always hear about jobs not being there, unemployment, but here is someone who is telling you that there are jobs and there is demand. We'll come to COVID, of course, and how it affected the overall market in the UAE and your jobs per se. पर कौन सी कंट्रीज ऐसी हैं जहाँ से सबसे ज़्यादा वर्कफोर्स आप रिक्रूट करते हैं?
हमेशा इंडिया ही रहा है और प्रेफरेंस भी सब एम्प्लॉयर्स का हमेशा इंडिया ही रहता है. Where the biggest requirement is for Indians. अभी now the issue with India is कि वहाँ के डोमेस्टिक सैलरीज जो हैं gone up so much कि लोग बोलते हैं कि अभी मैं घर में इतना ही कमाऊंगा तो मैं दुबई क्यों आऊँ. So there is a little bit of a balance there.
I know.
But what has happened with that is कि the Pakistani, the Nepali, the Bangladeshi communities have benefited with that. तो उनको बहुत opportunities मिली हैं उसको लेके because the Indians are not filling it up fast enough. तो इंडिया में क्या है कि दो distinct sectors हो गए कि you have the unskilled construction workers जैसे हैं and then you have the skilled people. तो जो बीच का जो sector है that is all coming now from Pakistan, from Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. So you've got multiple different people coming in for different job roles.
Okay, quite interesting actually because we always thought that people like I at least always thought that people in India they want to come here because so many people approach on an individual basis to all of us. But that is also true that salaries have gone up. And when I was also migrating here, that was always my thought कि अगर मैं X amount नहीं कमाता तो मेरे लिए फ़ायदा नहीं उतना दूर फैमिली से दूर जाके. That's always there. But does Groupel charge any fees to the?
So all the recruitment that we do in the UAE, there is no fees that is charged. It is completely free of cost recruitment.
For the candidates.
For the candidates, we don't charge them anything. It is all free. We've seen signs across the offices. अगर आप हमारा Facebook page follow करोगे या Google pages follow करोगे, आपको वहाँ पे hundreds of reviews मिलेंगे जहाँ पे लोग बोल रहे हैं we don't charge any fees. I got a job through Groupel. I was not charged any fees. तो वो सब जगह आपको available है and you can go through all of that.
Great. So, if you can briefly tell us कि application और recruitment का process क्या है? If somebody wants to apply.
तो हमारे पास हमने खुद अभी recently एक job website start करी है called www.worka.me WORKA worka.me ME. तो वहाँ पे it is a job website where employers are putting up their own jobs and candidates can go to that website. वहाँ पे हम लोग apply कर सकते हैं. It is a simple application process. Already कुछ 2.5 लाख लोगों ने वहाँ पे apply किया हुआ है in less than 7 months. तो काफ़ी सारे jobs भी है वहाँ पे. तो it is moving in the right direction. There is no fees to register there. There is no fees for employers to put up advertisements.
And anybody anywhere in the world can
anyone
apply
anywhere in the
from.
world. हाँ, अगर आप इंडिया में बैठे हो, पाकिस्तान में बैठे हो, जहाँ पे भी आप बैठे हो, you can apply for the job.
But what is that one X factor for Group L that sets you apart from everyone else?
So one is that we've always got a demand of jobs. We have a very active business development team that is going out, talking to clients and always having an active demand of jobs. That is one side. उसके साथ साथ we try and provide some sort of training, coaching to all the candidates to help them pass the interviews and understand the job. So we are not only about just placing the person on the job. It is also about how can he do a better job? Does he understand the job? Is this the job that he or she wants to be doing? If they have problems once they join the company, I don't like my supervisor, I don't like the job I am doing, I thought it was something else, it is something else. We handhold them through that process.
Wow, okay.
So we have a welfare team that goes, meets all of these people. With the numbers we are hiring, there is always going to be people who misunderstood or there is something that goes wrong.
Okay. So which are the kind of jobs जो अभी फिलहाल बहुत ज़्यादा डिमांड में है UAE में खास करके?
डिमांड में तो बहुत सारे different types of jobs हैं. There is always a security guard requirement. There is always drivers jobs. There is what has happened last year is especially 2021 there has been a huge demand of kitchen staff, cooks, kitchen helpers, kitchen stewards, chefs.
Housekeeping staff
has also is huge demand. I have never seen such demand within the hospitality segment as I have seen last year. A lot of that, of course, is because of Expo also, where Expo has had so many restaurants come up there and employed so many people. But also the number of restaurants that are opening in Dubai. Every few days you're hearing of 1 or 2 new restaurants opening. So they are all employing so many people. So clearly Dubai, UAE are doing something around this segment, and they're attracting investment and which is also attracting jobs. So hospitality segment, yes, there is a lot of jobs available within that.
But overall अगर बात करें UAE job market की तो फिलहाल कैसी है UAE की job market?
I think बहुत ही interesting job market है. There is a lot of opportunity here. It all depends on what position you are coming from. अगर आप बहुत senior level पे आ रहे हो और आपको senior level job ही चाहिए, आपको 2-3 बार आपके career के बारे में सोचना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि यहाँ पे दुबई में unless you are very well qualified, any experience that you have outside of UAE is usually discounted. They are looking for people who've got UAE or GCC experience. So number one of course is UAE experience. उसके बाद आता है GCC experience. उसके बाद कहीं और से अगर आपका experience रहा तो उन लोग उसको consider करेंगे. तो it is important to understand कि आप what stage of your career you are coming in. If you are coming at the entry level, yes, Dubai is an amazing place. आपको you learn a lot. You meet so many different nationalities. Why Dubai? All of UAE, you meet so many different nationalities, and it's an amazing work-life balance, amazing learning that you will have for lifelong. Middle management, they prefer people who've got work experience here already, who've already understood how things work here. and then senior management is a different ball game altogether.
But by far, I feel this is one of the countries that's always open to bringing people from other countries, unlike a Europe or a US,
Yes.
maybe where it's so difficult to get in.
बट ग्लोबली दैट इज़ ऑल्सो चेंजिंग, क्योंकि अगर आप ईस्टर्न यूरोप में देखोगे तो पहले उन लोग सब लोग बोलते थे कि नो देयर इज नो जॉब्स फॉर एनीवन हियर, इट्स ओनली फॉर द यूरोपियंस. नाउ दे हैव एन एजिंग पॉपुलेशन, they don't have enough of a workforce, so they are looking at bringing in people from India, Nepal, Pakistan, Philippines. बहुत सारे लोग जा रहे हैं वियतनाम से, म्यांमार,
But
इंडोनेशिया.
which are these jobs? Like हमको तो कभी नहीं मिलती है jobs.
These are mostly they are like in construction or in
Right.
agriculture. So there is a lot of demand for
और
manpower.
healthcare, I suppose now.
Healthcare is more in Western Europe. तो अगर आप जर्मनी देखोगे या यूके देखोगे, there is a lot of healthcare work recruitment that is taking place there. I think from Philippines especially से बहुत सारे लोग वहाँ पे already गए हुए हैं. We are trying to open up some kind of channel to do nurses recruitment from India, Nepal. Sorry, more from India, not so much Nepal. From India into the UK.
So sir, आपके सबसे बड़े clients कौन से हैं?
तो हमारे सबसे ज़्यादातर क्लाइंट्स जो हैं आर सेमी गवर्नमेंट, यूई सेमी गवर्नमेंट कंपनीज. जैसे अगर आप देखोगे ट्रांसगार्ड ग्रुप हमारा क्लाइंट है, इजादा एसेट मैनेजमेंट हमारा क्लाइंट है, उनके अंदर में आता है आरकान सिक्योरिटी, इडामा फैसिलिटी मैनेजमेंट है. फिर हमने रिसेंटली साइन अप किया विद एमिरेट्स फ्लाइट केटरिंग, तो वो भी क्लाइंट है. काफ़ी सारे केटरिंग कंपनीज है जो हमारे क्लाइंट्स बन गए हैं. तो अपने जो क्लाइंट्स हैं दे आर ऑल सेमी गवर्नमेंट, तो किसी को नोबडी नीड्स टू वरी अबाउट सैलरी पेमेंट होएगी टाइम पे नहीं होएगी, तो थिंग्स लाइक सो भी जो भी क्लाइंट्स के साथ हम लोग काम करते हैं दे आर प्रॉपरली वेटेड, दे आर प्रॉपर बैलेंस शीट, दे आर स्ट्रॉन्ग एंटिटीज. तो ऐसे हम
Okay.
लोग किसी के साथ काम नहीं करते हैं अगर उनके पास स्ट्रॉन्ग बैलेंस शीट नहीं है. वी डोंट वांट वर्कर्स टू सफर व्हेन वी आर recommending them to clients.
So which are the hardest jobs for which you have to find people?
I think one of the hardest jobs is to be a baggage loader in any of the airports in the middle of summer here.
Okay. अच्छा, because it's always on.
It is
Outside.
a hard job. It's a tough job to be doing and to be doing weight
तो
lifting.
कंस्ट्रक्शन भी तो वही है.
कंस्ट्रक्शन में भी सिमिलर है. कंस्ट्रक्शन इज ऑल्सो वेरी टफ जॉब फॉर देम टू बी डूइंग. बाहर में तो आप खड़े हो एंड बट यू आर नॉट ऑलवेज पिकिंग अप लगेज एट दैट टाइम.
Right. Okay. Okay.
तो आप वहाँ पे बैठ के यू कैन बी अ स्टील फिक्सर, यू कैन बी अ मेसन, यू कैन बी डूइंग योर वर्क बट यू आर नॉट लिफ्टिंग वेट्स ऑल द टाइम.
Okay.
तो आई थिंक दैट इज वन ऑफ द हार्डेस्ट जॉब्स टू बी डूइंग. बट
Is it hard to find also people for that?
people are ready for it, but then once they go in तो फिर उनको
There's
थोड़ा सा शॉक रहता है. हाई attrition rate है.
Attrition rate, yeah.
तो ये इशू तो रहता है. बट लकली वी वर्क विद वेरी गुड कंपनीज जो उनको ट्रेनिंग देती है, जो उनको एवरी फ्यू आवर्स ब्रेक देती है, सो दे कम ऑफ द हीट, उनको रिफ्रेशमेंट्स देती हैं, तो दे लुक आफ्टर दैट.
So these are hired by the airlines or the airport authorities?
These are hired by the airports, different divisions. So
Not by the airlines,
Danata,
right?
not so much by the airlines. So this is maybe Danata, Transguard Group, Dulsco. These are the people that will go in and actually hire these people.
Okay. So and which are the easiest to find? Like
I think semi office jobs are very easy to hire. So like accounts people or secretaries, receptionists, admin. These kind of jobs are very easy to fill. In addition to that, what is very easy to fill is security guards.
really?
Very easy to fill क्योंकि वो बहुत डिमांड है. सैलरी आपकी फिक्स्ड है.
कितनी होती है?
As per UAE government, you're supposed, if you work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, you're supposed to be paid 2,267 dirhams.
Dirhams, yeah.
Plus accommodation,
Wow.
plus leave, plus gratuity, plus return flight every 2 years. तो
It's quite good package.
तो
yeah.
अगर आप
2,200 मतलब इंडियन रुपीस में ऑलमोस्ट 44.
44,000 पूरा पैकेज लेके चलोगे तो 50,000
एक security guard के लिए.
तो वो इंडिया में तो उसको उतना पैसा तो मिलने वाला नहीं है.
सवाल ही नहीं है. प्लस वर्किंग कंडीशंस वुड बी मच बेटर.
वर्किंग कंडीशंस आर बेटर. यूजुअली दे ऑल हैव, अगर वो बाहर का भी काम हो, अगर कंस्ट्रक्शन साइड का भी काम हो, तो वेरी रेयरली विल यू फाइंड अ सिक्योरिटी गार्ड जो बाहर ओपन में बैठा हुआ. दे ऑलवेज हैव अ एयर कंडीशन कैबिन. पर इसमें रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी तो रहती है.
करेक्ट करेक्ट.
तो सो दे हैव टू वर्क विद दैट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. उनके लिए ट्रेनिंग भी होती है. दुबई पुलिस एंड अबू धाबी पुलिस अरेंज ट्रेनिंग फॉर ऑल ऑफ दीज पीपल. दे हैव टू बी लाइसेंस. जैसे आपकी ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस होती है, सिक्योरिटी गार्ड रिक्वायर सेपरेट
तो
लाइसेंस.
आप उनको हेल्प करते हो या?
हम उनको रेकमेंड कर सकते हैं कि कहाँ जाए ट्रेनिंग करने के लिए. बट यूजुअली द एम्प्लॉयर, द सिक्योरिटी कंपनी इज द वन हु विल अरेंज द लाइसेंस फैसिलिटी फॉर देम.
Also highest salaries कौन पे करता है? I'm sure that's a question that a lot of them must be wondering about.
हाईएस्ट सैलरी इफ यू लुक एट ये जो अगर वर्कफोर्स जैसे जॉब्स हैं अगर उनको देखोगे तो दीज आर यूजुअली फॉर सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स.
अच्छा.
फिर उसके बाद नेक्स्ट लेवल आता है विद ऑफिस जॉब जैसे हमने ऑलरेडी बोला था विद
नहीं, इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक बात करें तो
इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक अगर आप
कौन सी इंडस्ट्री सबसे ज्यादा?
यूजुअली हॉस्पिटैलिटी में सैलरीज अच्छे रहते हैं, टिप्स अच्छे रहते हैं, आपको बेनिफिट्स अच्छे रहते हैं. अगर उसके ऊपर आप देखोगे अकोमोडेशन अच्छी रहती है. तो ये पूरा अगर आप पैकेज लेके जाओगे दे यूजुअली मोस्ट प्रेफर्ड एम्प्लॉयज रहते हैं.
ओके. और आई एम श्योर लाइक यू नो एज अ रिक्रूटर लॉट ऑफ पीपल वुड हैव आस्क्ड यू दिस, बट कुछ ऐसे टिपिकल कौन से सवाल होते हैं जो प्रिपेयर करना बहुत ज़रूरी है किसी भी इंटरव्यू में जाने से पहले?
सबसे ये क्वेश्चन हर एक आदमी पूछता है जो इंटरव्यू में जाता है, टेल मी अबाउट योरसेल्फ. तो
क्या आप बोलना चाहिए लाइक?
तो टिपिकली क्या इसका आंसर क्या होता है? सब लोग बोलते हैं सर आई एम कबीर, आई एम फ्रॉम हियर, फ्रॉम इंडिया, आई डू दिस जॉब, आई हैव कम हियर, सो मेनी पीपल इन माय फैमिली. पर वो सब तो 90% आपके सीवी में लिखा हुआ है.
राइट.
आपका जो भी आपका इंटरव्यूअर है उसने कुछ तो पढ़ा होगा आपका सीवी से, तो आपको जो उसको बताना हैज़ टू बी आउटसाइड द सीवी. व्हाट इज स्पेशल अबाउट यू? आप ये काम क्यों करना चाहते हो, वो आपको क्यों हायर करे? अगर ये फर्स्ट 2-3 मिनट्स में अगर आपने अपने इंटरव्यूअर को कन्विंस कर दिया कि ये रीजन से आप मुझे हायर करो, देयर इज अ हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी यू विल गेट द जॉब.
अच्छा.
पर अगर जो इंटरव्यूअर है बाय स्टैटिस्टिक्स सेज दिस कि जो भी इंटरव्यूअर है विद इन द फर्स्ट 20-30 सेकंड्स ऑफ यू वॉकिंग इनटू द रूम ही इज मेड अप हिज माइंड, आई वांट टू हायर यू, आई डोंट वांट टू हायर यू.
They call for CVs all the time, but do they actually see the CVs or not?
Mostly very few people will see the CV, barring looking at it at the interview's time. The CV is still a requirement because it helps screen people out. But for those who are meeting the shortlist, the CV is not so much of a requirement.
Okay.
There are some websites around the world जो बोल रहे हैं कि CV की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. आप अपना प्रोफाइल डालो, आप बोलो कि my name is this, this is the job I want to be doing, and I have so much experience in this job. और आपको उसी में आपको सिलेक्शन हो जाएगी. बट CV is an outdated thing, but it is still required. What is better than just doing a normal CV is कि आप एक वीडियो CV बनाओ, एक वीडियो रेज्यूमे बनाओ.
छोटा सा
1 मिनट लॉन्ग, उस 1 मिनट से ज़्यादा नहीं. आप बोलो आप कहाँ से हो, आप कौन हो, आप वो सब उसमें डालो, जैसे जो हम लोग अभी बात कर रहे थे अबाउट टेल मी अबाउट योरसेल्फ. तो वो सब डिटेल्स आप उसमें 1 मिनट का CV में आप डालो. आप क्यों दुबई आए हो या UAE क्यों आए हो, आप क्या काम करना चाहते हो, आपके पास क्या पुराना प्रीवियस एक्सपीरियंस रहा है, अब ये सब उसमें आप थोड़ा डॉक्यूमेंट करो. एंड दैट इज मोर इम्पैक्टफुल फॉर एनी एम्प्लॉयर देन डूइंग अ पेपर CV. फास्टर वो उनको फिर इमीडिएटली पता चल जाता है कि हाँ दिस पर्सन इज अ गुड फिट फॉर मी. उनको आपके पर्सनैलिटी के बारे में पता चलता है,
हाउ यू स्पीक, हाउ यू स्टैंड, योर बॉडी लैंग्वेज, एवरीथिंग.
Especially if he's going to make up his mind in 20-30 seconds. So that CV is video CV is much better. So if anybody is looking for a video resume or a video CV, we can help them make that. हमारा एक पूरा job center है near Alkhel Mall. तो वहाँ पे we run every day. We've got interviews happening. और जिसको चाहिए होता है we help them make video resumes.
Video resume and also resume making services.
Resume making service.
These must be paid, right?
So we haven't yet started charging. There is a plan that sometime in the future we may, but we haven't yet.
जल्दी करो, like grab the offer, जल्दी कीजिए. A lot of people are already in the UAE, in Dubai. You know, they've landed here, they had a job, चली गई job. How do they go about looking for the next job while they've lost the job?
So what everybody tries to do, which is in my mind is the wrong approach, is कि सबको मैंने हर एक वेबसाइट में जाके मैंने CV डाल दी और मुझे नौकरी मिल गई. ऐसे नहीं होता unfortunately, no matter how qualified you are. Most of the time, most companies will hire internally or from internal reference.
Right.
So 90% of global jobs are fulfilled with a reference, with somebody that knows somebody from within the organization.
Okay.
तो आप किसको कहाँ पे जानते हो, that is most important. आपके पास अगर नेटवर्क है, आप वो नेटवर्क को एक्टिवेट करो, आप सबसे बात करो कि आई एम लुकिंग फॉर अ जॉब, दैट विल हेल्प यू फाइंड अ जॉब. अगर वो सक्सेस नहीं होता, देन व्हाट यू डू, देन माय अदर रिकमेंडेशन इज कि आपके पास कुछ तो स्किल्स होगा, कुछ खूबियत रहेगा. सो एंड गो टू फाइंड पीपल इन द कंपनी दैट यू वांट टू गो टू वर्क फॉर. फॉर एग्जांपल, यू वांट टू कम टू वर्क इन ग्रुप है, यू आर अ फैंटास्टिक अकाउंटेंट, राइट. आप मुझे एक लिंक्डइन पे या एक ईमेल डालो या व्हाट्सएप डालो कि I want to work for your company. I'm a great accountant. I may not have a vacancy today for an accountant, but what is your hook for me? If you tell me कि sir I'll work for you, give me 3 months free or 1 month free or 1 week free, I will work for you for free. You try
see
me
my
out. You
skills.
see my work.
Yeah.
Very hard for me to say sorry, I don't want something for free.
Yeah, I guess that could work. Yeah, of course. So anybody who's already here and looking for a job, that's one of the mantras that he's given. इनको ही message कर दो. Maybe आपका काम बन जाए. Who
Become the
knows?
biggest employer in Middle East.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm just that's going to be you also an employer at the
Yeah.
same time while you are a recruiter. But one question I'm sure everybody wants to ask is, please pray tell, how do you negotiate for a better salary when you are sitting across?
So in your mind, you have to understand as to what you will not go below. Irrespective, and you have to also know in your mind whether your career is being built by joining this company or is it just a job. If it is just a job that you are doing it for the sake of doing a job and you're taking it for that sake, then go for any salary.
Otherwise, keep that in mind. Don't go
Otherwise,
below
yes,
that.
don't go below a certain budget. If you're looking at a career path, then you have to see how much are you going to learn from this organization. What is it that this organization is going to teach you? What other contacts can you make from this organization? And then take a holistic view to it. Now, every company that you go to, nobody likes negotiating for salary, whether you're the interviewer or the interviewer.
The hardest part, I'm sure
It is- it
everybody
is.
has come across.
But fortunately or unfortunately, most employers will have a budget in their mind that I will not pay more than this, no matter how good the employee is, or I will not pay below this, no matter how bad the person is.
Right.
So nobody is really bad. Everybody comes to do a good job, but
Good job, yeah.
how much the person doesn't fit the profile of what they're looking for. So there is already a budget in place. So very difficult for whoever the interviewer is to go beyond that. For whatever reason, they have set that budget.
Do you, when you advertise your jobs for your clients, do you usually put out this is the salary that you'll be getting?
We like to. I think
But
for
it's
us,
not always available.
it's not always available. It's not always recommended by the employer. So sometimes the employer wants to keep it close to them to negotiate, like you were saying earlier. But some employers will say, no, I am paying this. This is the budget. So mention that this is the budget. I don't want people to come looking for an 80,000 salary when I'm only going to be paying 8,000 salary.
Okay. So now that we are talking about this, it's a good time for me to ask, what is that bare minimum or an average salary for a mid-level sort of an accountant or an admin or an HR receptionist kind of a job? कितना होना चाहिए?
UAE is a very unique market in that sense. अगर आप इंडिया में अगर होते या यूरोप में होते तो everywhere there is a benchmark sort of salary that is already in place in the market.
Yeah.
UAE में what I have found is that for a receptionist you can get paid 2,000, you can get paid 12,000.
12,000 dirhams.
Yes.
Which कौन सी receptionist है भाई ये?
नहीं है कोई कंपनीज है अगर आप जैसे DIFC में जाओगे तो वहाँ पे काफ़ी सारे कंपनीज हैं who will pay this kind of money for receptionist. But so there is a huge range इसमें. So very difficult to say what the
But what do
salary
you
is.
feel is a reasonable salary?
So I think if you're like a receptionist, I think maybe about between 5 and 8,000, depending on how much responsibility the company is also giving.
Yeah,
you.
because it comes with a lot
Yes.
of admin
Yes.
responsibility.
So some companies is just be answering the phone, sit over there.
True.
And keep a correct log of the phone calls that take place. Some companies are also that no, we want you to do more admin work. We want you to do filing. We want you to do other items.
True.
So based on that,
On
I
that.
think it depends.
But
on
5
what
to
the
8
salary
is what you think
I
is reasonable.
Yes, I think that's
And
a good
what
salary.
about an accountant? Like a entry level accountant?
Entry level accountant, I think only because there are so many accountants available
That's why I
in the
asked
market. The bottom end is it can be very low. I mean there will be companies who will say कि 2000 में काम कर लो, देखेंगे 3 महीने के बाद. But in my mind, again, similar salary should be between 5 and 8,000 for an entry level.
Good enough.
Yeah, and again, depending on your skills thereafter and how much experience you have and your qualifications, that will jump up from there.
But coming to job scams, which is rampant in any country, of course, what are those red flags that they should look out for?
तो सबसे पहले you have to only work with a licensed recruitment agent. क्या होता है कि why does the job scam happen? कि आप मेरे दोस्त हो या मेरे चाचा हो या भाई हो, मैं आपको आके पूछूंगा कि आपने दुबई में आपको कैसे how did you find a job in Dubai? तो आप मुझे बोलोगे अच्छा I went through this agent, उसने इतना पैसा लिया और ऐसे हुआ, और या तुम मुझे इतने पैसे दे दो मैं तुम्हारी नौकरी लगा दूंगा. So वो चैनल ना अप्रोच करके, if you change your channel and you go towards a licensed recruitment agency.
How do you know it's a licensed recruiter?
So all licensed recruitment agencies will have their license displayed in their office.
Like
That is like in India.
No, on
in
website
Pakistan.
how do you find out? ISO number या ऐसा कुछ
No,
होता है?
there is, so in India all licensed recruitment agencies in India के बारे में बात कर सकता हूँ, वहाँ पे उनके वेबसाइट में लिखा होता है licensed by Mumbai POE और licensed by Calcutta POE, and वहाँ पे लिखा होता है कि what is the license number.
Okay.
ये तो one side हुआ. Second thing, if you are in India, ये I think in Pakistan में भी उन्होंने शुरू कर दिया है. If आप emigrate.gov.in में आप जाके आप चेक कर सकते हैं कि ये आदमी लाइसेंस्ड है कि नहीं. वहाँ पे आप कंपनी का नाम आप डाल सकते हो. अगर उनका नाम नहीं आता है वहाँ पे, यू हैव द अथॉरिटी टू चैलेंज द कंपनी एंड से कि आप तो लाइसेंस एजेंसी नहीं हो. एंड तो इफ यू अप्रोच द लाइसेंस एजेंसीज, chances of scams and things like that reduce very drastically.
What are those red flags other than that? चलो license number देख लिया, but some people still may not see that.
एक तो ये हुआ. Second हुआ कि how much money are they asking you for?
पैसे मांग रहे हैं.
कितना मांग रहे हैं? I mean there are some processing fees that may be there, especially in India and all that, for visa applications, for getting your documentation done. But outside of that, उन लोग कितना पैसा मांग रहे हैं? अगर ज़्यादा पैसा मांग रहे हैं तो that is, for me, that is straight away a red flag.
Red flag, yeah.
इसके ऊपर में what we see, two other points that we see very frequently, इसकी अगर जो job ad है, if that is badly worded, उसमें spelling mistakes बहुत है, so that is 99% a fake ad.
Or it's too good to be true.
Or that was going to be my next point, that the salary हम लोग बोलते हैं कि चलो सिक्योरिटी गार्ड के लिए मार्केट में 2000 सैलरी है, मैं 5000 दे रहा हूँ. So if that happens, then there is you need to be very careful with applying for that job and do your due diligence.
Great. So these are the red flags that we all must look out for when we are looking for a job, especially when we are not in the UAE. But COVID के टाइम में कैसा इम्पैक्ट रहा आपके खुद के बिजनेस के ऊपर और ओवरऑल जॉब मार्केट पे?
तो कोविड के टाइम में देयर वाज अ बिग इम्पैक्ट, स्पेशली फॉर 3-4 मंथ्स जब पूरा यूएई लॉकडाउन में थे. 2020 देयर वाज अ वेरी बिग इम्पैक्ट. आई थिंक मार्च, अप्रैल, मई, जून तक काफ़ी बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट रहा. उसके बाद आई थिंक यूएई आल्सो स्टार्टेड रिलैक्सिंग द रूल्स, स्टार्टेड ओपनिंग अप. तो अमेजिंग, यूएई हैज डन एन अमेजिंग जॉब.
Just turnaround was
just
amazing.
Being able to see it from that far ahead, that everybody should get vaccinated, everybody should get tested, make testing cheap and easy for everybody to do. I think that was an amazing decision from the UAE's leadership. अगर आप दुनिया भर में देखोगे, अगर आप यूरोप में जाओगे तो अभी भी वहाँ पे it costs about 700 dirhams for one PCR test.
I know. So in Ajman where I live, it's free.
It's free. So most of the UAE,
it's a huge relief.
So I think the UAE did a great job in terms of being able to bounce back. Especially those people who've been in the UAE for a long time will appreciate this. How much the UAE has benefited from this in the last 18 odd months. Where if you look at 2020 March, April, May of 2020, everyone was thinking what is going to happen here? Do we have a future here? And today you look at the roads, you look at activity everywhere. UAE is probably the only place in the world that has continued to stay open throughout in the last 18 months.
Not a single lockdown after 2020.
So that way it's been amazing.
So the job market also bounced back.
Job market has bounced back very significantly.
100% would you say?
I would say 120%.
Really? Okay.
Yes. I think the job market today is more active than it was in 2019. Of course, Expo also has had a lot to contribute to that with additional manpower going into the Expo side. But in addition to that, it's all the investment that is coming into the UAE from all over. Every few days I'm hearing of कि ये family India से इधर आ रही है, ये आदमी दुबई में आ रहा है.
Plus, visas, golden visas.
All of that is helping.
So many factors hold on to living here and having a future which is brighter than ever before. कोविड के टाइम में जो प्रॉब्लम्स हुई थी वो अभी फिलहाल तो नहीं है, बट जो हायरिंग आप कह रहे हैं कि जॉब्स 120% बाउंस बैक हो गया है, तो उतनी डिमांड आ गई है, पर क्या उतनी प्रॉपर सप्लाई आ रही है? एंड आर पीपल एक्चुअली गेटिंग जॉब्स from outside the country as well? So
people are getting jobs. There is enough. The supply, at least from the Indian subcontinent, so India, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh.
After COVID, how many? Sorry, I'm cutting you, but I just wanted the specific thing. After COVID, how many people you must have recruited India se?
Only from India is, I have a top line number.
just
About 10,000 people is what we. About half our recruitment is done from India only.
In the last 1 year.
In the last, say,
year and a
14
half.
months.
Year and a half
Yes,
types, yeah.
yeah.
तो एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, that's how I got in touch with him, is that you signed this very important memorandum of understanding with the Jammu and Kashmir government. Tell us more about that.
One is to see how we can generate employment for the people of Jammu and Kashmir, whether it be here or within India domestically,
Okay.
or within the wider Middle East region. And second is to see how we can create some kind of upskilling for the people over there. There are some very skilled karigars, as we call them, in India, in Hindi, from the Kashmir and from the Jammu and Kashmir belt. And is to see what we can do. Are there job opportunities for them here? Do we need to reskill them? What about hospitality? Can we bring them into other different roles? So it's a bigger project than just saying find them jobs.
How long is the MOU for?
So the MOU is valid for a year,
Okay.
but we are looking at hopefully being able to go into Delhi in the next few weeks and be able to talk to them and understand what is the modus operandi, how do they want us to operate.
Correct.
And once we have a greater understanding from the ministries there, then we will be able to start the operations on the ground.
Would you also be having an office out there just to facilitate?
We will look at that. Definitely, it's. I don't think this is something that can be run on remote controls. We will need to have some sort of
To
a
meet
physical
people and
presence
stuff,
there. Usually, what they do is they come to places like Chandigarh or Amritsar or Dehradun for interviews, and from there, if they happen to be there as part of another wider interview, they're picked up and brought here. Punjab is becoming another big hotspot for people to come here. So a lot of Punjabis, you'll see a lot of Punjabis here. Sat Sri Akal to all the Punjabis.
So very soon, like it's spilling over to the J&K. Okay, great. So I guess that completes all my questions. कोई कुछ और है जो आप बताना चाहते हो?
No, I think just thank you for your time. Thank you for having us on your show, and we look forward to having an association with you in the long term.
Of course.
If anyone's got any questions, our office is open
Yeah.
at least 5 days a week. Our websites are there. Our job website is there. Worka.me. If anyone wants, they can go there and apply for jobs. Thousands of jobs are there, so a lot of opportunities
please.
are there.
On that note, I really like to thank you. And see, businesses तो सब लोग करते हैं, but I feel that the business that you are doing is very noble because you are giving people means for a livelihood, and I think that's just as good as it gets. और इससे ज़्यादा कोई बड़ी बात हो नहीं सकती है. और खास करके आज के ज़माने में कोविड के बाद people are always looking for jobs, better salaries. So keep doing that, and thank you so much for talking
Thank
to
you
us.
so much, Ronak. Thank you.
Thank you.